Okay, the learning we're doing this morning should be the Ilui Nishmas Shalom ben Yosef Ikusi Azusha, who taught Tanya every single morning in his living room for I don't even remember how many years and years and years. In the page you have in front of you, you see the little siman over there where it says the words Achine towards the end of the page. Achine layodim, Yadua layodim. All right. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be finishing the Hakdama for the Sha'ar Hayichud Veha'emuna. This Hakdama for this Sefer has been incredible. The Chaver that have been learning with us online, and the Chaver that have been learning with us together, we're about to finish here the Hakdama. The Hakdama here is essential. It's a very big shaila. As we begin to learn the Sefer itself, it's very interesting. What is the Shayachut itself, the Hakdama to the Sefer? It's very, very interesting. And it's not so clear in the beginning, and we'll get there in a second. So if you can look in the words, Achine Yadua Layodim, this is just repeating the end of what we were learning last week. Achine Yadua Layodim, Tama Dikra, Mai Dichsiv Kisheva Yipol Tzadik V'kam. So those who know the Taima Dikra, the Ta'am of the pasuk, Ta'ama Dikra. What does it mean when it says Kisheva Yipol Tzadik V'kam? The shayla we had last week is also, wait a second, Tzadik. What's the shaykh of a Tzadik falling? And I don't know, I think like in this door today that we're in right now, it's like we should write Kisheva Yipol Shlomo, Kisheva Yipol Jack, Kisheva Yipol Ari, Kol Sha'ar V'kam. You know, it's not like Sheva Yipol Tzad. 7 times in my life I fall. It's like we have, what's Sheva? Sheva, you're right. Sheva ain't nothing. This is concept, right? Sheva's an hour that we're displaying. There's this concept though by a tzaddik, the number 7, and maybe we'll understand that one day. Why dafka the Indian of Sheva Yipol Tzadik V'kam. But he's going to be asking. He's going to say over here, people that know the deeper meaning of it means like this. Bifrat כשאדם נקרא מהלך ולא עומד וצריך ללך ממדרגה למדרגה ולא לעמוד במדרגה אחת לעולם. So we know, we said this last week, that if you're not walking, you're falling. What was the lashon we used?
If you're not rising, you're falling.
If you're not rising, you're falling. Someone was watching us, sent me a great Bob Dylan lyric. If you're not, oh, it was so good. And I'm not even such a Bob Dylan chassid, but it was such a perfect way of explaining. If you're not, I don't know if...
Too bad Yoni's not here.
Yeah, Yoni would know it in a second. We have Yoni for that. We have David. You could quote any dead. If I started a dead tune, you'll quote it. I don't know. I could obviously finish off a neat line. Whatever it is, but we know that this concept of mehalech, we're not standing, we're walking. We're constantly walking. Bifrat she'adam nikra mehalech v'lo omed. A person has to keep on growing. If you look at yourself today and say, okay, thank God, in a comparison to last Elul, at least I could say that I didn't fall lower in my madrega. That's not such a mazel. You don't get such a mazel tov for that. You shouldn't. This is such a great shikoyach.
No credit for maintaining.
Huh?
No credit for maintaining.
Not really. Some people are fine with that. At least give me the maintaining, right? But really, us, it's not like that. It's got to be. You got to keep on going.
There's a place in the world for holding actions. There's a place in the world for holding actions.
Yeah, not here though. ולא לעמוד במדרגה אחת לעולם ובין מדרגה למדרגה טרם שיגיע למדרגה עליונה ממנה. This is what we spoke about last time. And in the world of the tzaddik, before the tzaddik reaches the next level in his life, הוא בבחינת נפילה ממדרגה הראשונה. This is what we were trying to understand. Why is it that tzaddik's not falling, but before he ascends to a higher, loftier level of avodas Hashem, for him that's considered an nefila? Remember, he's at 4, and he's going to go up to 5. It's not that he fell between 4 and 5, but it's that until he reaches 5, for him that's considered a nefila. We were learning this last week. It's very hard for us to understand, because for us, if I'm traveling from 4 to 5, if I'm just there before I get to 5, I'm good. It's fine. Alavai, give me that. By a tzaddik, something about the longing that he has for the next level almost makes him feel that where he's at now, even though he hasn't fallen, is pasnish. There's nothing. Not just nothing. It's a descent. It even takes you lower.
So he can taste the next madriga, and he's stuck in the fourth one.
Yeah, I don't even know if he could taste it. It's just that for him, he feels, it's for him it's a nefila. It's literally falling.
Do you think it's because he feels like that he can't achieve it, or that he's already achieved it and it's too hard for him?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like, you drive your walk. I think like somebody biking up a mountain.
Right.
They got up to the top. They got
right.
and then that's like a straightaway, and then they're zooming along the straightaway, and all of a sudden there's a really steep hill in front of them, and they hit the hill, and they feel like they're rolling backwards.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
But they're already there already. So you feel like, you think that the Tanya means that he's already on 5 and he feels like he's fallen, or that he's on 4 and like he's so close that he feels like he's falling because he can't quite.
I think the latter, actually. Yeah, Terem Yagia. He's not there. Terem means 5. Does he taste 5? I don't know. Terem to me means no. It's not as velt yet. He's not there.
But there's something inside of him that he knows that he should be somewhere else.
Right. Well, look, many of us know we should be somewhere else, but for us, it's not nefilas. No. It's a good thing you're pointing out. We all know we should be somewhere else, but somehow it doesn't make me like cry in line, like, but I can't believe I'm not there yet. All of us know we should be somewhere else. Please.
It's a book called Closing the Knowing Doing Gap.
That's a great title.
It's a great title. It's by a guy in Harvard Business School.
That's a great title.
Closing the Knowing Doing Gap.
Okay, so hu bechinas nefila madriga rishona ach ki pol lo yutal ksiv. Now this is an important word by tzaddik. What's the lashon? And hopefully it's by every single person. Ach ki pol lo yutal. Even if he falls, lo yutal. Yutal means chucked. Natila, you throwing it out. You're like. But most of us, when we fall, what do we feel like? We're being banished from the garden. While we're falling, we always feel like, oh boy, this is it. I'm out. Right? Lo yutal ksiv. It doesn't say, okay, but the tzaddik knows there's a falling here, but there's something that keeps him straight in the picture. All right? He's not off, the Alter Rebbe is saying. Ve'ena nikres nefila ela legabei madrigos harishona v'lo legabei sha'ar kol adam chas v'sholom. It says, by him, this is a nefila, but it's not like this by other people, like we said, what they feel. She'af al pi chen hu lemala mikol ha'adam ba'avodato. The tzaddik is, even his concept of falling in that place, he's still high above everyone else, almost everyone else's world of avoda. Why? Ki nish'ar ba bechinas reshimu mimadrigos harishona. This is an important word. Does anyone know what the meaning of the word reshimu means? Yeah, very good. Very good. Reshimu. Reshimu is a concept. It's brought down a lot in Chassidus and Kabbalah, all over the place. A reshimu, I like to refer it like the Piasetzna refers to it. He refers to it a little bit in different words in his Perush and Parshas Noach in a book Derech HaMelech. It's a book that was written way before the war, and it's a book where it's a much more optimistic book. Obviously, it's not written in 1939 in the Warsaw Ghetto. And over there he describes that a Yid, when he davens in the morning, and he davens with a lot of kavanah, there's a bittul taking place. No matter what happens to him for the rest of the day, there's a reshimu of his davening on the rest of the day. Similar to what? Someone taking a pencil, writing down something really strong, chazak, on a piece of paper. No matter how many times you try to erase it, even the erasing itself, the harder you try to erase it, the more there's a mark that says Shlomo was here. Right?
That impression is left.
That impression, yeah. Now Rishima also can, Rishima was like signature. The impression that's left on the tzaddik's avoda, it's such a strong impression wherever he's at that he can't ever feel I'm out of here.
It's etched.
It's etched. Very good word. It's etched in there. By us, what happens when we fall? It's almost like I never wrote anything here. I was never here. Want to give that to Tom, Ari? I was never here. So by the Sha'af Hayichud Lemala mikol ha'adam. Ba'avodato ki nish'ar ba bechinat reshimu mimadrigato harishona ach ikara. Now he's going to connect the two levels of love we've been speaking about. אך עיקרה מאהבה שנתחנך והורגל בה מנעוריו, בטרם שהגיע למדרגת צדיק. Even the tzaddik wasn't born a tzaddik. Before the tzaddik became a tzaddik, he had a different type of love he was messing around with. And what's that type of love? What we've been discussing here. This second type of love, which is that love of a child, but it's really the second type of love that we've been all longing for. Does anyone remember the second type of love we've been discussing? Not the first one of klos hanefesh, but the second type of love that the Alter Rebbe said is available to each and every one of us upon activation.
Yeah.
That one. The one that's dependent upon us. I'm sorry, I don't have any more copies. I'll make more for tomorrow. The one that's dependent upon us saying, I'm going to press this button, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to make this happen. And that's, he says, Urgalba, this is something that the tzaddik had a lot of havana, and he was very much shaykh to that world. B'terem yigia shel madrigas tzaddik. You know, that was this ladder before he got to that place of Einod Milvado, absolute bittul. He also, at a younger stage, at a lower level of love, had to master that place of love that Moshe Rabbeinu tried to instill within us. This second type of love that we've been speaking about in the Akdama. V'zel shekosov gam ki yaskin lo yasser mimena. Now he's painting a beautiful, complete picture. We started off by saying Chonach lanar al pidarko gam ki yaskin lo yasser mimena. Educate a child in accordance to what they need. Why? Because when they go older, if they were given what they need to fit their DNA, their spiritual DNA, that'll last with them forever. Now, what was the shayla the Alter Rebbe says about that pasuk in Mishlei? My maliusa. Why is that? Why are we saying that's such a great level that he never leaves that? Like, what do we say? That it was custom, the custom tailor made for him. Right? Why is it such a big deal? It's not the emes lamito. It's a very condensed way of looking at the emes. It's just his little world of emes. Why wouldn't we be happy if he actually did strip himself away from that tailor-made chinuch that he got when he was younger and realized it's much bigger than what I needed as a kin? Because that place that was just made for us, this love that was just made for us, that a Rebbe taught me in school, something just the way that I could hear it, that is the place that I, later in life, or whatever madrega I get to, that's my fallback. That's my fallback. That's has such a reshimu on me. That's the place that no matter how much I grow intellectually or spiritually, everyone, because I'm walking in this world, I'm always going to have these days or these moments that I'm like, none of this makes sense. Maybe this whole thing I got into is all crazy, right? You never had those days where you really start like, whoa, man, I think I mamish just drank too much, right? I went too overboard. Let me just stop this whole thing and take a deep breath. He's saying over here, when you do that, even when we do that, hopefully we rely on some kind of love that we have when we're smaller. It's much harder for us. A tzaddik, in the intermediate places between going to the next level, that world of love that he had to activate when he was younger is what keeps him and what makes him able to stay in a place of a nefila. Because you all know, the higher you are, the more it hurts when you fall. Simple as it is. So what prevents the tzaddik from such pain? That second type of love we've been discussing. Hershey, does that make sense? And how's that, everyone? Is that okay? When he says yazkin, he doesn't mean one day when he's old, he'll still remember how young he was. And when he was young, how much the love was good. He said, Gam ki yazkin, at every single level of growth, that love, upon activation, is available for him. Yes, it's not really what he's working with on his day-to-day basis in his avodas Hashem, but in that intermediate place, he's still connected to that thing that you and I have as well, the love that we connect to. Yes, Eli, just talk loud, I'm sorry, or come closer.
So there's an interesting game that's being played with the pronouns. Right?
Yeah.
Lo yasur mimenu.
Yeah.
Right? Who's leaving who? Right? I think in the first way the puzzle is read, that the student won't leave that derech. Here we're talking about the ava. And
That
it's
the love
ava
won't do.
won't
Oh,
leave that
very.
person.
That's gewalt. That's so deep. Say,
Nice.
did everyone hear that? That's beautiful.
Very nice.
The love won't leave him. In the beginning, it's the student won't leave. That's amazing. Again, don't feel guilty, but if you do not write this chiddush you have after here, you basically stole from Am Yisrael, but whatever works for you, okay?
You wrote it, it's online.
Yeah,
Take it
no, someone once came up to me one time, this a friend of mine, Rabbi Avram Willig, forget what it was, either we shared chidushim with each other, and he looked at me so real, he said, you know it's gzela if you don't sit down and write that down, like Pashut gzela. You're literally stealing from Am Yisrael if you don't write down a chiddush, and I'm just it just makes more and more sense as every single shir here I see that we've been doing in Elul. There are a lot of chidushim by the Chevra, and I remember that Rav Weinberger's bracha to us was, not just it should be good, it should be strong, but he's told me, he said, and there should be chidushim coming out of the Beis Medrash. So for each of us, it's been happening a lot, not just in Tanya shir later in the day. I think it's something that's kedai to really work on and to remember. So, Eli, please. Okay, so Vehine Reishis Advarim. So now, how is he ending off over here? Vehine Reishis Advarim HaMe'orim HaHava VeHayira. So what are the things that awaken love and awe? Ve'yesodan, and its foundation. He, after everything we said, okay, he basically went through everything here to get back to the point of what pushes the button. What is the entry? What starts the whole game? Okay, this whole maze of figuring things out, feeling what is it at the end of the day? Reishi Sadvarim, the beginning of things that me'odedim, how do you say le'oded? That cheer up, that encourage, thank you. Ha'ava ve'ayira, ve'yesodan, hi ha'emuna. Just like Chabakuk, remember it says, Ba Chabakuk vehemidan alachas. Chabakuk said, okay, at the end of the day, what's the bottom line? V'tzadik be'emunasa yichyeh. A tzaddik lives with his emunah. That's the extent of his life. It's just his emunah. Hi ha'emunah ha'te'ora v'ne'emana b'yichuda ha'te'ora v'ne'emana b'yichudo v'achduto yitbarach v'aleh. This pure and ne'emana, faithful emunah in Hashem's unified oneness, in His holy, blessed, and exalted oneness. Now, again, we began learning, and we said that this, in the beginning of this Akdama, if you look at the top of it, Miyusad, do you see over there, Melukat Mipi Sofrim? In the top of the page it says, Likutei Amarim, Chelek Sheni, Hanikra B'Shem Chinuch Katan, and then it says, Melukat Mipi Sfarim Umipi Sofrim Kedoshei Elyon Nishmasan Eidan. This book is a compilation of Sfarim, from certain Sfarim. Does anyone remember which Sfarim this is referring to, that the Alter Rebbe took this from, that we learned? Specifically, that's later, that's the Sofrim. The Sfarim, remember which one? The Shla, and the Maharal, very good, and the Reishis Chochma. Very good. So this is all taken from the Maharal, the Shla, and the Reishis Chochma. And then it says, but really, Mipi Sofrim, and also from writers, scribes, the Baal Shem, the Magid of Mizrich, the Reb Mendel of Vitebsker. And then it says that, remember, Miyusad al Parsha Rishona Shel Kriyat Shema. So now, we have to understand, all of this is really founded upon the first Parsha of Kriyat Shema. This whole Sefer, in the Akdama, was a preparation for us to understand one thing. What does it mean when we say, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad? What does it mean when we say, Baruch Shem Kvod Malchuso Le'olam Vayed? And what does the next word, just the next word mean? Ve'ahavta. So what have we in Hakdama already have approached? From the three things we just said right now, what word have we begun? Ve'ahavta. Absolutely. What was the question on Ve'ahavta? How could you command an emotion? How can you command to love? How can you command an emotion? So we learned here what type of love we're speaking about that can be commanded, and we learned about what type of love can't be commanded. That's the main thing of this Akdama. But the point that he's saying over here is that even the tzaddik, who doesn't need to be commanded about love, that love that he knows can be commanded is what kind of saves him in the in-between moments. Where the tzaddik is dealing all day long with yichudim. You ever hear tzaddikim, they're into yichudim? What does that even mean? Okay, what is a unification? Can anyone here please explain to me? Anyone ever here say L'Shem Yichud Kucha Brichu? Sure. What on earth does that mean? What is L'Shem Yichud Kucha Brichu? This is the point of the sefer. Let's try to talk about this for a second. What does L'Shem Yichud Kucha Brichu mean?
I don't know what this means, but it's the unification of Din and Rachamim, aspect of it.
Right, so accepting the oneness, that means that what? That Din and Rachamim, they've come from the same exact Makor.
And that really the Din is Rachamim, the Rachamim is Din.
And we just can't see that. So right. So what does it mean now? L'shem yichud kucha brichu shchimte. What does that mean?
Part of the understanding that our understanding is God has past, present, and future, and we have a hard time coming to terms with that and focus on their Shema. I think what we say before those mitzvahs is that we're preparing ourselves that in order to do this mitzvah, we're trying to tie it together to something greater than that. So I'm not just shaking the lulav to play this and this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm just making kiddush.
It's much bigger.
It's much bigger. You're trying to bring it to this bigger thing, which is beautification. So you're saying this should be so that I could understand this part of the greater picture of.
Right. Right. So I want to share. I want to tell you like this. This is what I think. Obviously, it's very much based on a funeral I was at last night. The last hesped at the funeral, who was here with me? Toby was here. The last guy, right before they took the body to Kavura, not that people were saying, we lost the tzaddik hador, it wasn't that, but this guy got up and he said, I'm really sorry if I'm going to offend anyone, but he said, Shalom Brat wasn't a tzaddik. And it was one of the highest things that anyone that knew him could have said. It was not his inyan. Huh?
And Shalom made a promise to come to his Levi and say that.
Yeah, he kind of made it, the guy promised to come to his Levi and say that. Okay. So, what I want to say is like this, and this is, it's very, very fresh in my heart. I'm just working with this right now. But listen, really, like, mamish closely and open your heart, because I think this is what it means. To see that Din and Rachamim come from the same place, and to accept that, only someone who's connected to a certain level of the first type of love that can't be activated, so after a lot of work, only someone like that can give that over to you as something that can be a reshimu in you. This place where what seems to be a complete stira in this world, Din and Rachamim, that which seems to be the most complete stira in this world, for someone to be able to bring it over to you and give you a te'ima of that it's coming from the same place, which basically, what is that letting you know? Everything's okay, right? That's what it really is saying to you. Everything's okay. In order to do that, there must be some kind of hitchabrut to a place where there's a complete yichud, where there's a complete unification of both of these midot, where there's a unification of what seems to be a stira. So now we say what? L'shem yichud kucha brichu u'shchinte b'yichud ashlim b'shem kol Yisrael. Again, I don't want to spend too much time trying to understand what that means, but all I can tell you right now is that my best friend, Shalom, he gave that place of letting a lot of people into this place of a yichud. I'm not saying he was a tzaddik, don't worry. He was a pashut, and there's a difference between an Eved Hashem and an Oved Hashem, like we'll see in the Tanya. An Eved Hashem is someone that once he served God. An Oved Hashem is present tense, that it's constant. You're constantly in the dance. It's not that you did the work. It's that you're always doing the work. when you're so engrossed and always doing the work, you are able, after having a taste of a yichud, which means bringing din and rachamim together in your heart and realizing this is all one, and then you're able to say that word, ve'ahavta. You're able to literally love HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So this whole sefer, everything we're going to be learning, I think it's 12 chapters in Sha'ar Hayichud Veha'emuna, is this attempt to explain to us why is it such a big deal to say Hashem Echad, especially for in our day and age. It's not really like we said in the first year. Most of us have we have a lot of issues, but one of them is not like, I'm not sure if there's 4 gods or 2 gods or 1 God. It's not something we're dealing with. Our main thing is like, is it still shaykh to be a shiyid that's shomer Torah and mitzvahs in such a modern liberal world? That's what we're, that's our thing today. But to wonder this inyan of, is it 5 gods or 3? And yet this inyan of echad means so much more than just trying to figure out the concept of 5, 3, 1. Yeah, Eli.
It's interesting, we all have Hebrew names, we all try to live our names. Our name doesn't give by accident. So usually Shalom's name is Shalom. He lived his name. Like he brought it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pieces that are completely different.
Yeah.
You go together.
Yeah, his son, he's very good. His son, at the end of his aspect, he said, Heyesh Shalom. There's a concept, Heyu Shalom. It's got to be a little shtickle. Shalom in us, that place of, I guess, din and rachamim, to me that are can only reside in this state of peace, living his name. Yeah.
We said that our name isn't like, is there 6 gods, but sometimes the name is there no God. And I think that's, Hashem Echad means that there's more than 0 gods. And I think
there's more than 0 gods.
Yeah, that's our issue today, that's
I
right.
think the issue is not whether or not there's a God of the sun, and a God of the rocks, and a God of the forest. It's like,
very good.
Is there anything?
Very good.
Is there anything? So I think Hashem Echad is an affirmation not just of the unity of Kadosh Baruch Hu, as opposed to 5 or 6, but like the unity of Kadosh Baruch Hu as opposed to like mamish. There's like just me, and I get to decide, and like I'm God, and like whatever. I don't know.
No, that's very good.
That's why.
It's very good.
Sure.
That's why I try to refer to myself, at least, it's a little personal, right?
It's
I try
very
to refer
good.
to myself, not like there's 6 gods, but like today I'm going to always live as if I believe that there is a God.
It's very good. I like it. So now, just for the 2 minutes we have left, now we're just gonna, I don't want to wait till tomorrow to say, now we'll officially start the first chapter. It's not, that you do when you prepare history classes or science classes, biology classes in the school. But you have on the bottom is the first line of now inside. Lahavin me'at mizeir. Do you know what that means? You know what zeir means?
Fleeting.
Lahavin me'at mizeir. Just a tiny bit. Ma shekosel bazoya deshma Yisrael hu yichud ha'ila is this higher yichud, whatever that means. Ubaruch Shem kvod malchus la'olam va'ed hu yichuda tata. These 2 words are important for us to know. Ilah. We have this concept in the Zohar all over the place. There's an isarusa dile eila. There's a hitorarut up there, and there's a hitaruta dile tata. In halachic terminology, when it comes to kashrus, there's a concept called tata gvar. Tata gvar means the lower one override. Gavar, gover. It's it overcomes what's above it. It has to do with things, dishes. It's a dish that has hot spices, v'chudei, and it's not for now. But what I want now is just for us to be familiar with these words again. To understand, having me'at mizeir, just to understand a little bit what the Zohar HaKadosh says when he says that. When you say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, okay, it's a yichud like we're speaking about. It's a yichud ilah. It's this higher, more exalted form, which is more shayach up there in the heavens. We have a shayachus to it as well. And when we say Baruch Shem Kvod Malchus Ha'olam Va'ed, and then when we go down to that place and we say Baruch Shem Kvod Malchus Ha'olam Va'ed, it's a Yehuda Tata. And maybe therefore it's quiet, when we say it more quietly, besides one day, Yom Kippur. Why? Because what is Yom Kippur? The essential, what is the essence of Yom Kippur? An absolute yichud on every levels between the Ribbon Shalom and Nishmas Am Yisrael. Hopefully, if we have time before Yom Kippur, because we'll be learning till Yom Kippur, we could speak about that for a second. Why do we dafka say Baruch Shem Kvod Malchus Yom Vayed out loud on Yom Kippur? And it'll make a lot more sense to us after spending time with the Alter Rebbe, discussing the difference between the Kavanah of Shema Yisrael Hashem Lakein Hashem Echad and Baruch Shem Kvod Malchus Yom Vayed. But remember, this is the point, and it's going to be hard, because now it starts to get a little bit difficult. It's not like the Akdama was deep and the sweetest, but it's not as textually difficult like the first perek. If you have a Tanya, please bring it tomorrow. If you didn't order yet, please make sure you order and you bring it. But remember, the point is to reach the third word, the first word of Shema. The Alter Rebbe's whole thing was not to see, can you become a Kabbalist that knows how these things work? It's not what it was. Although, Shalom told me, he told me this a few times. By the way, you hear me say Shalom, I never called him Rav Shalom in my life. It was a very weird thing for me to call him that, even though I feel bad about it. Maybe I should have in front of other people. Maybe I should even do that now. You know, I should. When I talked to him, I never in my life talked to him. I said, Rav, but this is actually important. Rav Shalom, he told me to be in the Alter Rebbe's shir, you had to have complete bekiyas in Shas and Poskim before, and completely holding there, inside out, in Kisvei Arizal, to know the Zohar HaKadosh as well, the writings of the Arizal, all Mishnayos, all Midrashim, you had to know everything to sit in the shir. And here we are, we open up, okay, Yichud Ha'Ilah, Yichud Ha'Tata, so we have to put things into proportion, but what's common between us and every Talmud of the Alter Rebbe was his goal was to schlep us at whatever cost it was to reach the first word of activating the notion of ve'ahavta. Because we need to feel love. We need to feel the love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We don't even realize how much we need to feel it. We have no concept even how much we need to feel it. But you know how it is, like after you really feel love from a human being, you wonder yourself, you say to yourself, how could it be that I lived all my life without this, right? You ever have that? After you come in contact with someone and there's no love, you say, how could it be? I don't understand. How did it work? Well, it happens to me with a lot of nigunim after I learn a new nigun, right? Like, I cannot believe I existed in this world without this. Hopefully all of us are constantly feeling this, but on a certain level, we will get to this place of ve'ahavta and say, who was I kidding that for so many years I labeled myself as an Orthodox Jew without not being able to activate this ahava shniya that the Alter Rebbe speaks about. And the Alter Rebbe says in the first chelek in Akdama, these are things that are in our midst, in Beyadenu. We could reach it. We could do it. Be'ez Hashem, we will. Yishar koach.